Boxing returns Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City, and also returning to Atlantic City is our next guest, Holy Spirit High School graduate, along with undefeated heavyweight Josh Popper joins us back here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh, welcome back in. How's the training camp going?
Oh man, training camp's going great. What's up, Josh? What's up, Alex? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. So tell us a little bit about, obviously the last time you and I talked was kind of your debut, right? It was your debut back in Atlantic City as a boxer. For you, over the last few months, kind of what has been, the takeaway, the evolution for you? Because obviously you're still growing, you're developing, you're evolving as a fighter, as a person. So for you, what has been kind of like the last few months been for you?
That's a great question. Last few months have been very interesting. Just trying to figure out where exactly my career is headed, what's next. Eyeing up, opponents that I want to get in the ring with, people that I want to fight so I can make a statement and really rise in the rankings. So it's been fun. The past couple months have been crucial as well because I'm really finding a good groove as far as how a road training camp is supposed to be ran, making sure that I'm getting my road work in, getting my two-a-days in that are in the gym, added some cool other supplements to my training like swimming, and, making sure that I have a great team around me. I've added a coach to my team. So just, making sure that everything is good and set so that as my career progresses, I'm making sure that I'm doing everything the right way.
You mentioned about adding swimming in there at the end. That's a very
Yeah.
interesting thing because people don't always think about, cross training when it comes to someone like a boxer. Like we hear about that with youth athletes, right? I know for you in your gym up there in New York, you probably have young people. You're like, hey, don't just play one sport, right? But to hear a pro
Definitely.
athlete say, hey, I'm training multiple things, like, talk about the psychology of that. I'm sure that, some of that's a challenge for you.
Oh man, a challenge is an understatement. It's funny because I'm used to being pretty good at things, and when I hopped in the pool for the first time, actually, it was right around my last fight in November, the one that I had my homecoming debut in Atlantic City, and when I hopped in the pool, to me it was pure comedy. I had everyone that was in that pool going, "Hey, do you need some help? I could give you a few pointers." And I'm like, "Is it really that bad?" And they're like, "Yes, it's that bad." So just being able to be open to being bad at something and trying something new, one is powerful in itself, but just having that cross training aspect is crucial. You're going to be able, using swimming specifically, you're going to be able to get an amazing cardio workout without putting all that pressure on your joints and ligaments like running. So it's a great way to make sure that I'm still conditioning my muscles with the swimming, especially the shoulders, and getting that cardio aspect. And it's a fun new challenge. I'm pretty sure I speak for every fighter when we say running is not fun, but we understand that it's important. But I found swimming as something that is a new challenge and something that is fun. And it's a different way that I can challenge myself and push and get my heart rate up. Sometimes I'll just go, 30, 40 laps in the pool. Sometimes I'll try and do around 10 laps, but I'll try to lower the amount of time that it takes me to do 10 laps. So my heart rate is up a lot when I'm trying to do different variations of the pool workouts and working on breath work as well while I'm swimming. So to me, it's a fun new challenge. It's a way to get cool, fun cardio involved. But you already know, Josh, I've been playing a lot of sports since my childhood, like basketball, football, obviously now boxing. The importance of playing a bunch of different sports is that you learn different things in those sports. You're also gaining different skills that, you wouldn't have from just playing one sport. So, like, obviously, the footwork aspect that I get from playing basketball, with football, not only like the team environment and how I take that into boxing as well with the team that I have, but learning when to use strength versus finesse. All those things are huge. And then, swimming, learning how to breathe properly, knowing how not to panic, learning how to be comfortable when you're underwater. I'm actually not a good swimmer, but, I've taken this challenge head on, and to me, it's been an amazing process so far.
Yeah, now you're just making me feel old. He's like, oh, Josh, Yeah, I actually called some of your high school football games of Holy Spirit. That's how old I am. Josh Hennig back here in the 97.3 ESPN studio, along with Alex Barraras, chatting with Josh Popper, Holy Spirit High School graduate. He is now fighting for the second time at Tropicana in Atlantic City, Saturday, March 7th. I think the other thing that's interesting for you is that, I remember when I watched you back in November, and that, for you, it felt like there was a little bit of like, getting the engine up and going. Like, you kind of like, finding your reach, finding your spacing in a new environment. Has that been part of the camp a little bit to maybe like, find that awareness a little faster?
For sure, yes. My last fight was different for me in the sense of, being in a new environment, and not so much a new environment, but being in an environment that would kind of pull on my mental in different ways. I'm in front of a home crowd. I'm fighting in front of people who have never seen me fight, including in the amateurs. So what we've been doing a little bit differently in this camp is making sure that I'm getting sparring outside of my gym. So I'm actually in my gym right now. This is my ring that I usually get most of my training in. In this camp, we made a point to make sure that I'm traveling. I'm getting sparring in different gyms. I'm getting sparring in different environments to where, there's a lot of talking happening around, a lot of noise happening outside the ring, getting in good sparring with different opponents that, are challenging me more, talking a little bit to try and get in my head. All those things are huge because if you're sparring or training in a comfortable environment, it's not always going to go like that when you get in the ring. And then if you're not prepared for those moments, it could really pull on your mental in different ways. So my last fight, I didn't feel like I was as mentally prepared as I should have been. And I thought I was going into the fight, which is, that's usually how it goes. But I realized, especially going in after that first round, when I came back to the stool, I was like, yeah, I don't feel like myself. And I feel like I had two choices there. It was to, soak in that and fall victim to that mental state, or, and thank God for my coaches that I sorry. And, two choices: fall into that or see that as adversity, be willing to adapt, make the adjustments, bite down on the mouthpiece, and get the job done by any means necessary.
Josh, I always love hearing about the weight cutting when it comes to these upcoming fights. I got to assume like it was a grueling, hard process, but as you're getting more fights under your belt, are you starting to find newer ways or ways that are working for you that aren't, just making you feel like absolute death?
So that's a really good question. So I'm actually a heavyweight. I don't have to worry about the weight cut. However, my diet has always been absolutely terrible, like terrible. I'm the kind of guy that will have, the same meal every day and then finish it off with a pack of cookies from McDonald's, and I'll eat the full 13 cookies in one sitting like it's normal.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. But this camp, that was something that was my number one thing that I wanted to change, was my nutrition aspect. So I actually partnered up with an amazing restaurant that's here in New York City called Matter Formula. And I'm not trying to go all in and try and push everybody to go there. But if you're in New York City, you should definitely check it out. It's absolutely amazing. So they list out all of the macros, which is something that I never even, I knew what it was, but I never once at any point in my life ever cared to look at the macros of what I was eating. And I never knew what was in the food that I was eating. And I never realized how much the nutrition would make your energy feel better and just allow the training to be, 10 times more efficient. So anyway, talking about the nutrition aspect, I actually make sure I'm eating real food now. I'm eating good food. I know the ingredients that I have. I understand that the macros, I understand the macros of what I'm eating. So usually if I train really hard and I forget to eat, because, I'm also a coach, I own the gym here, Breadwinners. Sometimes with the schedule being hectic, it's like I go right from coaching to right into training. And the next thing you know, it's like, all right, that training session went 2.5 hours instead of 2 hours. I have a client who's going to be coming into the gym in about 5 minutes. I don't have time to eat. So I would skip meals a lot. Now partnering up with Matter Formula, I have my meals pre-scheduled and I have all of the macros matching exactly what my goals are. So I set out a goal to make sure that I was exactly 235 pounds going into fight night. And right now I'm right around 237 by design, because I know, the day of and whatnot, I'm going to have the nerves and whatnot that's going to cause me to not want to eat. So I'm just super excited and super ready to show everything that I can do based on having a real proper camp and focusing on the nutrition, focusing on sleeping better, focusing on all that. But food, for the most part, is definitely a challenge for any fighter. I can only imagine having to cut weight. Thank God I don't have to do that. But even as a heavyweight, the food is definitely still a major challenge. And I was able to make sure that I have that nipped in the butt with the best kind of restaurant that I could ever partner with or even eat at, even if it wasn't a partnership. I was going to be eating there anyway. Once I found out, because they're brand new. Once I found out about them, I was like, all right, this is what I need. Is exactly what I need, and I need the food to actually taste good. They have so many different options and variations, and everything is listed right out for you. And I just make sure that my calorie intake is matching what I want. The amount of protein that I'm intaking is matching what I want. Fiber, all those good stuff. So the nutrition aspect has been a game changer for me, and I'm looking forward to showcasing that when I get in the ring.
And that's an important thing because food is fuel. I'm a certified
Definitely.
nutritionist myself. I used to be a personal trainer as my side gig, and I know for me, one of the reasons why one of my show sponsors, Prevail Nutrition, is because of the fact that people don't understand that like when you actually eat real food, it changes everything for how
So
you
true.
function, how you just do everything. And it's like sometimes in the smallest shades, like you might have someone who might be like fat versus carb sensitive, and then just changing one part of their daily meal, it's like an entire life has been like turned upside down for the good. So I can only imagine for you actually putting real food in your body, like you probably just even feel like you could do more in the gym.
That's so true. Yes. Real food matters, and I definitely all the fighters, but everyone, just anyone who cares about being a healthier person, to look into eating real food, even if you're not obviously here in New York City and you don't have access to a Matter formula. You cook on your own. Find the time to even do your research and find places where you can find real food, because exactly what you just said, I feel so much better in my training. I feel like I can do more with knowing what I'm putting in my body versus going to a restaurant and just picking something that looks good.
Come on for Josh Popper here, Holy Spirit High School graduate, undefeated heavyweight boxer, fighting next Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City. Josh, coming into this fight, obviously it's first quarter of the year. What is your goal? Do you have like a goal, like to fight a certain amount of like fights this year? Like, is there like a number that you're kind of like wanting to get in?
Yes, I'm looking to fight at least 5 times this year. So this will be the first one that I'm scratching off. And I know obviously we missed out January and February, but planning on getting in the ring again in April. And then from there, definitely tackling those 5 fights this year and putting myself in a position to where at the end of the year, I'm in a great spot where I have shown what I can do. I've leveled myself up as far as the rankings go. And my goal is to be a champion. So some belts. My bad. I feel like, am I losing you here? Can you hear me still?
We got you back now. Yeah, you kind of like dropped there for a second, came back. You still got
Unfortunately,
us?
Josh, I'm not able to hear you, but I think you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. So I can't hear you guys, but I got you. Yeah, my plan is to finish out the year strong and put myself in a position so that the following year I'm able to definitely go after some belts. That's my plan. I want to be a champion. I want to be a world champion, and I feel like I have the potential to do that, and I will do that.
Well, we don't know if Josh can still hear us, but we'll let you go because your phone is not cooperating fully. But Josh, we appreciate you jumping on again Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City. Take care, my friend, okay?
You're the man, Josh. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you, Alex.
Say it.
Absolutely. Josh
Have a
Popper
good one.
joining us here on 97.3 ESPN.